This is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. With hundreds of new COVID-19 cases today, Wisconsin is approaching a total now of 50,000 cases.
In the past 24 hours, state and county health officials recorded 735 new cases, which is a considerable drop from Sunday's 957. To date, there have been 49,562 confirmed cases statewide and 896 deaths. The Department of Health Services says 9,873 cases are active, including 880 in Dane County. Testing in Wisconsin has steadily decreased over the past few days, with 6,946 people tested since Sunday afternoon. Out of those results, the State Department of Health Services says the positive percentage of new tests dropped slightly from 9.6% to 8.5%.
Thursday will mark exactly 6 months since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 to be a public health emergency. Nearly 16 million cases have been reported worldwide. More than 600,000 people have died, and the pandemic is far from over. The head of the WHO says it is accelerating, and the total number of cases has doubled in just the last 6 weeks.
Senator Mitch McConnell announced a new coronavirus relief package this afternoon that includes another round of $1,200 payments to most Americans. It would also extend unemployment benefits and includes more than $100 billion for schools to reopen. It provides money for healthcare facilities and lawsuit protections for businesses.
We'll cut right to the heart of three distinct crises facing our country: getting kids back in school, getting workers back to work, and winning the healthcare fight against the virus.
What about funding for state or local or tribal governments? Their budgets are in the tank. We're approaching a new month. Many essential workers will be laid off.
Unemployment benefits of $600 a week are set to expire this week.
Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, Governor Evers and Department of Workforce Development Secretary Caleb Frostman are asking for an extension of the federal pandemic unemployment insurance program. It ended 2 days ago. The letter was sent to the Wisconsin congressional delegation. Secretary Frostman said, quote, "Every program that supports Wisconsin families as we continue to deal with the fallout of the pandemic is vital to not only their economic well-being, but the state and nation as a whole." And Governor Evers says that over $40 million will be given to 12,000 farmers through the Wisconsin Farm Support Program funded by the CARES Act. Each farmer recipient receives $3,500. There is almost $9 million remaining in the first round of the program. Another round of funding will be distributed as well. That second round open to farmers whose gross income from farming is between $10,000 and $5 million. Applications will be accepted between August 10th and 24th.
Volunteers rolled up their sleeves today to take part in the biggest test yet of an experimental COVID-19 vaccine. The first of some 30,000 volunteers were receiving shots created by the U.S. government as part of the all-out global race to stop the outbreak. It will be months before results trickle in.
The UW School of Medicine and Public Health is working to dispel COVID-19 myths, with myths circulating on social media and new research constantly emerging. Experts urge the public and patients to be thoughtful and careful when seeing and sharing information about coronavirus. Health officials say the best practices for seeking and sharing information include trusting health experts like the CDC and the Wisconsin Department of Health, use reliable sources like medical journals and reputable news sources. Health officials say there have been local and national debates about masks, but you should listen to your health professionals.
There's a lot of people who might feel that some masks are inadequate or not as good as the medical grade masks, and so they might use that as a reason to rationalize not using a mask at all. But the reality is that all masks are better than no mask, and there are some that are going to be better than others, but there are plenty of cloth masks, particularly ones that have multiple layers, that do stop the spread of COVID, and they will definitely stop the epidemic if everybody wears one.
Health officials say their knowledge of COVID-19 is still evolving. They are still learning more about it every day.
More signs the coronavirus pandemic is maybe altering your upcoming holiday shopping plans. Target announced today it will close on Thanksgiving Day. Target said in a blog post, quote, "Historically, deal hunting and holiday shopping can mean crowded events, and this isn't the year for crowds. Instead, Target's holiday shopping deals will begin in October. Walmart announced last week it will also be closed on Thanksgiving Day.
All right, a sunny and less humid start to the work week. Let's check your firstborn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Boy, it's nice to feel that drop in the humidity. And tomorrow there'll be a chance for a shower or thunderstorm as a weak front comes through, but that will lower the humidity even further for the rest of the week. You can see a visible cloud track, some morning clouds, but after that, just some fair weather cumulus clouds popping up across southern Wisconsin, and those will be gone probably shortly after sunset. On Doppler track, there are a couple of showers and thunderstorms up near Lake Superior, but otherwise, things very quiet across the state. Temperatures right now, right around 80 in Madison, 82 in Janesville, 77 Mineral Point, but as warm as 86 in Boscoville and 83 in Milwaukee. Look at those dew point temperatures, though. Now in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees, much more comfortable than the humid weather we had over the weekend. That will allow temperatures to drop to a low of about 62 by early tomorrow morning with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow will be partly sunny and warm with a high of 82, but there is a chance for some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. After that, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes dry weather for the rest of the week.
Gary, thank you. The Rock County Medical Examiner's Office has released the names of two men who died in a Rock County pond on Saturday. Officials say 22-year-old Cornell Tucker and 23-year-old Dylan Geisey, both of Beloit, had been swimming and went underwater in distress in a pond near Indian Lake Road. Officials say there is no suggestion of any foul play. Those deaths remain under investigation. Protesters took their movement to the Dane County District Attorney's family home over the weekend.
Our Charlotte Deleste is here to tell us what the group wanted and what the district attorney did in response. Charlotte?
Susan and Eric, protesters gathered outside of Ismail Ozan's home Saturday night, and they didn't leave until 1 o'clock Sunday morning. The group's goal: to convince him to drop charges against people who were arrested during protests in the past 2 months. Ozan says they stood outside chanting expletives and calling him racist and his family as well while they were all inside their home.
It's important that we have and protect freedom of speech. It's important that we have people who are willing to protest. But I don't believe they should be taking that to people's homes. They've taken it to a number of officials' homes, and I don't think that those officials' families nor my family deserve that sort of, frankly, their attempted intimidation.
Yesterday, he responded with a strongly worded letter to the group stating he will not be intimidated to do his job the way they want him to. He also addressed being called a racist by talking about his family history and being raised by a black mother who fought for racial injustice in the 1960s in Mississippi. Ozan also said he, quote, grew up knowing what it's like to be black in America. He closed his 2-page statement by telling the organizers if they are committed to justice and want to work together to accomplish that goal, they have his number, so call him.
Charlotte, thank you. 2 women have been arrested after being accused of attacking a Wisconsin state senator. Officials say 26-year-old Samantha Hamer and 33-year-old Carita O'Reilly turned themselves in on Monday. According to the incident report, the two are facing charges of substantial battery and robbery with use of force as party to a crime. On June 23rd, State Senator Tim Carpenter said he was trying to take a picture of a group of protesters when he was attacked. He said he fell to the ground and was beaten by the group and needed surgery for his injuries. He is expected to fully recover.
The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office has identified the victim of a fatal motorcycle crash that happened in Middleton. Officials say 48-year-old Leslie Nicias was transported to a local hospital after a crash in the 6200 block of Century Avenue. Nicias was pronounced dead at the hospital. He died from injuries suffered in the crash. The Middleton Police Department and the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office are still investigating the incident.
A woman was hospitalized. A man arrested after a UTV crash in Cottage Grove. Dane County Sheriff's Office said it happened Saturday night. This was on Humid Lane. Deputies say a 24-year-old woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries in the crash. The driver, 25-year-old Kaman Upoff, was arrested for causing injury by intoxicated use of a vehicle. A second passenger was also injured.
The Madison area is seeing an increase in thefts of catalytic converters. That's the device that reduces toxic gas in a car's exhaust.
When Toyota Priuses are often a target here, Amanda Quintana is here with why police think they're being taken. Amanda?
Police released some numbers last week saying there were 47 catalytic converter theft cases reported so far in 2020. But many of these cases involve multiple vehicles in the same area, so more than 100 have actually been stolen. Paul Abramson went out to get in his Prius 2 weeks ago. He says when he started the car, it made a lot of noise. He had no idea why, but his mechanic told him the catalytic converter and oxygen sensor were sawed right off.
They drive down the street in the dead of night. Two people, one has a jack. They come and jack up your car. The other one rolls underneath it with a Sawzall and zip, zip, and it's done. And I think they probably go for Priuses because they're small and everything that they're looking for is right out in the open.
He's heard of this happening to other Prius owners. He says he's been told the converters have precious metal in them, which can be valuable. Police say the thieves often sell them to scrap yards for cash. Abramson wants other Prius owners to be aware of this. He says it was more than $1,000 to get his Prius fixed, and he was told the parts are on back order because this is happening so often.
Amanda, thank you. The body of the late Congressman John Lewis has arrived at the U.S. Capitol, where it now lies in state. Members of the U.S. military carried the flag-draped coffin from a plane to a hearse before Congressman Lewis began his final journey through Washington. Congressman Lewis will lie in state at the Capitol today and tomorrow. He served for more than 3 decades, and colleagues called him the conscience of Congress.
It is an official, personal, and very sad honor to welcome our colleague, John Lewis, back to the Capitol, to welcome his family and his many friends, to acknowledge his sacred life.
History only bent toward what's right because people like John paid the price to help bend it.
Thursday, Congressman Lewis's body will be flown to Atlanta for a funeral service at the historical Ebenezer Baptist Church.
City of Madison voters can cast absentee ballots at drive-up voting locations starting tomorrow. The absentee clerks will be wearing face masks and high-visibility vests. They will disinfect pens, clipboards, and envelope sealers after every use. Before receiving an absentee ballot, an acceptable form of photo ID is required. Out-of-state driver's licenses, state ID cards, faculty ID cards, and high school ID cards are not acceptable. Forms of voter ID, those are not acceptable forms of voter identification. The August primary is the 11th, and voters must pick a political party and vote for candidates in that party. You don't need to register with a party in advance. We have a list of drive-up locations at our website, channel3000.com. And with just 99 days until the general election, a new CBS News battleground tracker shows Joe Biden with a 10-point national lead over President Trump. New CBS News polling shows the economy, healthcare, and the pandemic are top concerns for voters. Neither candidate has an advantage on fixing the economy, but the president earns poor marks in the fight against COVID-19.
Our president wasn't prepared for this pandemic. The entire economy and our very way of life are threatened by Biden's plans.
In early August, Biden is poised to announce his vice presidential running mate, who he says will be a woman. Choices include governors, mayors, lawmakers, and former Obama administration officials. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5, how protests turned violent all across the U.S. over the weekend. And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, school reentry plans are expected to come. Multiple districts making those decisions tonight, including both Waunakee and Verona area. We'll have the latest. And on Wall Street, the markets open the week with gains. The Dow Jones climbing almost 115 points. The NASDAQ jumps 173. The S&P adds 24. And we'll be right back.
Wild Easttown Honda has clearance savings on over 400 new Hondas. Get 0% financing for up to 60 months on your favorite new Hondas at Wild Easttown Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
Save big money in your next project with 11% off everything now at Menards. All Patriot lighting is 11% off. This 5,900 lumen LED wrap light is great for kitchens, hallways, and more. The LEDs mean there are no bulbs to replace. Just $44.49 after 11% off. Designer's Image 12x12 self-adhesive vinyl tile look great and are easy to install. They're all 11% off. Stop waiting and start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
TSR Concrete Coatings is the nation's largest residential concrete coating company, proudly serving homeowners throughout Wisconsin. Our coatings are 4 times stronger than regular epoxy and won't chip, crack, or peel. They're impact resistant and UV stable. Our unique process begins with a base coat to seal cracks and level the surface, then flakes in the color pattern of your choice. A top coat is applied for a durable finished floor that can be installed in as little as 1 day. Act now to save 15% on your concrete coating project. Ask about 12 months, same as cash financing. TSR Nation is growing by the day with satisfied customers throughout Wisconsin, and we want you to be a part of it. As a special bonus, call during this program and receive a free TSR swag pack with your concrete coating project. Call 1-800-886-8411. That's 1-800-886-8411.
Right now, we're at a crossroads. We've seen what can happen when we elect a leader determined to divide us. As president, Joe Biden will forge a new path by growing an economy that works for working families, getting small businesses back on their feet, and expanding access to affordable health care. Joe Biden will lead us on the path forward, paved with opportunity for us all.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Wild Easttown Honda has clearance savings on 400 new Hondas. Lease a new all-wheel drive CR-V for $269. That's $269 and absolutely zero due at signing at Wild Easttown Honda in Madison. It's gotta be wild.
This year's school is going to be full of changes, so we're preparing to help you prepare.
What will school look like? How can you and your district keep your kids safe? And how can we help all of our children continue to learn?
We're getting the answers you need because we want you to feel prepared when it's time to send kids back to the classroom.
So keep an eye on News 3 Now this morning and get ready to go back to school.
The Madison Police Union says it has no confidence in Madison Mayor Sacha Conway. The union released that vote this morning.
Our Jamie Perez has more on why more than 95% of the members say they feel this way. Jamie?
The union wrote in this two-page release that this was not an easy or a sudden decision. They said that this was brought on by months of frustration, saying that the mayor has a lack of leadership. And they also said that she is unfamiliar with her own police department and creates an us versus them dichotomy. They also said that when she was running for office, they proudly endorsed her, but now they say she has been quick to point out, sometimes inaccurately, where we fall short, while the successes achieved daily by members of our organization go unrecognized. We call for a leader who is committed to rolling up her sleeves, diving in, and working with us on systematic improvements rather than separating herself from us and further dividing our community. Now, coming up tonight at 6, I will have the mayor's reaction to this.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Peaceful protests across the country were upended by violence over the weekend. In Austin, Texas, 28-year-old Garrett Foster was killed during protests. In Aurora, Colorado, a blue Jeep barreled through a sea of protesters who quickly parted to avoid being hit. Police say one person opened fire, wounding at least one other demonstrator. Police declared a riot in Seattle Saturday night after vandals set fires and destroyed property. Authorities deployed tear gas and pepper spray.
A top National Guard official is poised to contradict the Trump administration in testimony before members of Congress tomorrow. National Guard Major Adam DeMarco says officials cleared out peaceful protesters well before curfew June 1st, ahead of the president's photo op at a Washington church. The major says the demonstrators were peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights. That corroborates eyewitness accounts, but contradicts administration officials. They say demonstrators were violent and unruly, and that's why security forces used tear gas and rubber bullets on them. Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary has the forecast, and boy, it is a delightful afternoon out there tonight, Gary.
And get set for more of the same. And take a look at the live view from the WISC Skycam. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds out there, lots of sunshine, and the next few days will probably be like this. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Expect high temperatures to mainly be in the lower 80s for the rest of this week, through the weekend, and through the first half of next week. As far as precipitation, there is a chance for some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Some of us may get a brief heavy downpour. Other people may miss out on the rain altogether. But again, look for dry weather beginning on Wednesday and lasting through the middle of next week. So we've got a prolonged period of dry weather expected. Over the last 48 hours, temperatures were in the 80s this weekend, around 90 yesterday. And notice those dew point temperatures well into the 70s, very humid. But notice how the dew point temperatures have dropped off, even though the temperatures have still stayed fairly warm. We did make it in the lower 80s today. Over the next 48 hours, notice where the temperatures are. Dropping into the 60s at night, daytime high high temperatures right around or a little bit above 80. Dew point temperatures come back into the middle 60s a bit for tomorrow. That's why we have that thunderstorm chance. But notice how they drop off again as we head toward Wednesday. That means that we've got some very comfortable weather ahead. The thunderstorms up to the north, kind of with a little wave of low pressure that'll drop southeastward and give us that thunderstorm chance tomorrow afternoon. But there's not a lot of moisture associated with it. And on future track, you can see how those kind of die out overnight. The next batch kind of forms to our north and west tomorrow, moves through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, and then by midnight they're pretty much gone. After that, notice how those winds shift around to the north, the air dries out a little bit more, and then we're looking for lots of sunshine on Wednesday and probably on Thursday as well, with very comfortable conditions, just a few fair weather cumulus clouds popping up in the afternoon. Rainfall amounts, and this is long range future track, notice how the general amounts will be very light for the showers and storms that form tomorrow. This is beginning at Wednesday at 7 a.m. Now, there'll be some places that might pick up an inch of rain in a heavier thunderstorm, but those will be few and far between. But take a look as we put this into the future. Watch how much additional rainfall goes. There's Friday. There's Saturday. We go into the weekend. We go into next week. And notice, maybe some showers and thunderstorms to our south, maybe a few to the north. But here in southern Wisconsin, not looking for any rain really to speak of until maybe Thursday afternoon of next week. And that's because if we look at the satellite view, there's Hurricane Douglas north of the Hawaiian Islands. But notice this large area of clear weather that extends across the Pacific Ocean and through much of the northern part of the United States. That's high pressure aloft, which is just kind of slowing things down and giving us relatively quiet weather. And that little trough of low pressure will drop in from the north and west. That will give us a chance for a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. But temperatures are pretty comfortable, mainly in the 80s, a few 70s north of that front, but for the most part, looking very nice for the next week or so. 82 for the high tomorrow. Again, a chance for an afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm. On future track beginning tomorrow morning, we start out in the lower 60s. Some shower and thunderstorm chances in the afternoon and evening. By midnight, notice they're dropping to the south. Then skies start to clear out. And then we go to the 7 to 10 day forecast. And number one, you don't see the word humid there. Number two, notice those high temperatures. Lower 80s, nighttime low temperatures, upper 50s to lower 60s, looking very comfortable through that entire period. As we take a look at first warn traffic, that's looking pretty nice too. Right now on the Beltline, not seeing any major problems. Looks like an accident may have just occurred over toward, looks like around Monona Drive. That could be causing some delays on the eastbound Beltline. As far as travel times are concerned, notice on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate now up to 17 minutes on the commute, only 14 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, a quick 24 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward. Out to Sauk City on US 12, it'll take you 16 minutes. And to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue US 151, it'll take you a quarter of an hour. That's your News 3 Now, First Warn Traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5. After 5 days of baseball, some teams are already having to postpone games due to COVID-19. We'll tell you about it next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's time to breathe easier with a professional air duct deep cleaning from Stanley Steamer. We remove the dirt hidden deep inside your ducts, helping you get back to a cleaner and healthier home. Call 1-800-STEAMER today.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
I am crushing this to-do list.
Let me see. Smart home upgrade? Home gym?
Check.
What about the window, siding, and doors?
Cross something important off your list. Free installation on all windows, siding, and doors. And no interest for 1 year. The biggest sale of the year is here.
Free installation ends Friday. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
The math is pretty simple during the back-to-school sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, save 15% when you purchase any Denver Mattress Value Line mattress and Sleep Essentials package. Or save 10 to 15% on the Casper Bed-in-a-Box lineup. Choose between the Casper Original, Wave, or Nova. Plus, get free shipping right to your doorstep. And check out the Summit Queen, only $199.99, and 4 years, no interest financing. The back-to-school sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Arby's 2 for $6 everyday value menu is here. Choose from a crispy chicken sandwich, a gyro, and a beef and cheddar. Any two for only $6 every day. Tell your friends, tell your family, yell it from the rooftops, baby. Call that guy who still owes you $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
Get more for your kitchen now at the Brothers Maine Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale. You'll get big savings from Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and KitchenAid. And you'll get the joy of showing off those amazing brands with a risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee. Get 100% confidence in your purchase only at the Moore Store. The Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale with more selection, more savings, and lots more fun showing off your beautiful new kitchen. Now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Seattle's pledged to defund its police department by 50%, even including a proposal to remove 911 dispatchers from police control.
Joe Biden said he's absolutely on board with defunding the police. Listen closely.
Yes, absolutely.
Hello, you've reached 911. I'm sorry that there is no one here to answer your emergency call, but leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
At Stanley Steamer, we love homes. It's why we started cleaning them over 70 years ago and why we still continue today. Whatever home means to you, we're ready when you are to make sure your space is clean and that you and the ones you care about most are safe.
All of Edgewood College's athletic competitions through December 31st have been postponed. The Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference announced today that all conference regular season competitions and championship events will be postponed due to the pandemic. Student athletes were informed of the decision on Friday. Officials have not announced specific plans for rescheduling the competitions.
Baseball has been back for less than a week, and games are already being postponed due to COVID-19. The Miami Marlins home opener against Baltimore has been postponed. The Marlins are dealing with an outbreak. The Marlins had 4 players test positive during their opening series against the Phillies, and today an additional 8 players and 2 coaches tested positive. So the Yankees-Phillies game has also now been postponed. The Yankees would have been in the same clubhouse that was used by the Marlins over the weekend. MLB says it has no plans to cancel the season.
Dr. Anthony Fauci threw out the first pitch of the Washington Nationals season opener. As you probably saw, he missed the catcher by a mile, but he captured the hearts of baseball fans. The top doc even got his own Topps baseball card. If you can see him there, mid-pitch, mask and all. Today, the company said this just became the best-selling card in the history of Topps Now. That's a collection of limited edition cards only sold for 24 hours. More than 51,000 Fauci fans snagged the card when it hit the site last week.
I thought it was cute because somebody said it's his job to make things that people can't catch. So that's part of it.
That's good.
That was a good throw. All right, a final check. Your first warn forecast, just a moment.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It just gives you such a boost of confidence.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home. I had the timer on, and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing, or
it absolutely could be a daily thing, but the way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Today we're facing a serious threat. We have to meet it as one country. Numbers don't lie. Infection rates are now going up in more states than they're going down. We got to fight this together. Wear a mask. Keep your distance. Limit the size of crowds. It may be inconvenient. It may be uncomfortable, but it's the right thing to do as an American. We need a president who will level with the American people. President will tell us the unvarnished truth. President will take responsibility instead of always blaming others. President will listen to the experts, follow the science, allow them to speak. President will lead, be an example for the nation. We have to do all we can to keep our fellow Americans safe and healthy. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, the world's largest coronavirus vaccine study enters phase 3 trials, with 30,000 Americans about to get injected. When will we know if the vaccine works? Plus, 2 Major League Baseball games canceled after more than a dozen Miami Marlins players test positive for COVID-19. Will America's pastime have to end the season early? And as Americans pay their respects to the late Congressman John Lewis, the efforts to rename a historic American bridge in his honor. That's all tonight here on the CBS Evening News.
And it's a great summer evening out there. Gary has a final check.
Take a look at these temperatures. That tells the story. 80 degrees right now in Madison with a dew point temperature of 57. That's about as nice as it gets this time of year. Look for a high of 82 tomorrow. There'll be a chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and then very nice weather for the rest of the week and through the weekend.
We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.